take it or leave it if you don't want to believe it. But when somebody comes and tells you your mum's name, there's got to be something in it. I think there is definitely something there. I grew up in a little bit south of Aberdeen in the north of Scotland, on a little croft with a few acres of land. My parents were sort of very hard working, and they had different jobs during the day and jobs in the evening that they did, and part of it was crofting and part of it was doing something else. So I grew up in an environment that was kind of surrounded by countryside and animals and nature. When I talk about spirit guides, I mean some mediums have spirit guides who are their own loved ones, like their own mother or father who has gone to spirit. For me, that's not who I think of when I think of my spirit guides. It is other individuals that I have formed a relationship with in my work in spiritualism, and who work closely with me and help me in my own progress. This is where we have our readings together. So I'd invite them to sit down, I'd invite them to have a cup of coffee or tea. And then I would explain to them a little bit about the process of what I'm going to do, and tell them the different ways that I can work, both mediumistically and psychically, which is also about connecting in with their energy. And when I was doing that, I would also ask them what do they want to get from the reading as well. And sometimes kind of funny and different things happen. Like I remember one time someone came to see me who was auditioning for X Factor, and she was so excited about going for this audition that she actually wanted to show me her audition. And I said, well, okay, on you go, you know. So she stood up and performed this song for me to let me see how it was. And I felt really touched, you know, that she'd wanted to share that with me, and that I was getting this live performance as well in front of me. So sometimes things like that can happen that are, you know, quite amusing as well along the way. I would say probably 70% of my clients are women, and of those, probably the majority would be, I guess 20s, 30s, 40s. That might be the majority in terms of the age group that would come, but any age can come for an individual reading.
My name is Tara and I am 36.
Leslie Ann Farrell and I'm 35.
I was kind of thinking about it when you'd asked me to do this. It's just something that's always been around, like my family, and my papa read tea leaves. My auntie was quite kind of, I don't know, intuitive and would know things were going to happen, and it's just something that's kind of natural in my family. I went along to the psychic centre over at Govan probably about 17 or 18 the first time I went.
I don't believe it because I want to believe it, if you know what I mean. I can see, I mean, there is people that tell me, oh, that's rubbish, that's rubbish. I'll go if I get something. If I don't, it's fine. It's the same to me, kind of thing. I've paid for readings, I've had free readings. I know people who are normal people, they're genuine people, and they have some kind of psychic, a bit spiritual thing. And they're successful. They're people that make actually quite a lot of money. But I know them personally, and they're they're normal people. They're no kind of shaking beads and kind of talking to ghosts and that kind of thing. I do telephone readings as well, although that's a smaller part of my work. I was approached by a company in America who wanted me to do telephone readings for them, and they were effectively acting as an agent for clients from Texas to New York to Los Angeles. So I agreed to do a few hours a week for these clients. Scottish mediums perhaps have a reputation, for being quite good. So I think part of, the interest for them was, speaking of an evening to a Scottish medium.
When I was wee, I remember having a conversation with my mum. We were walking home, down like there was a big kind of like a country road really to our house. And I remember, I don't know how it came up in conversation, I think I had said, I was thinking about my granny or something along those lines. And I said, no, granny's up on they've all got a big cloud. Each family's got a big cloud and that's where they are. And I think for that interpretation is such a naive, kind of innocent way to look at it as a child. But for me, I don't think it's far off that. I think that you end up, your afterlife as you end up back with your loved ones.
When I'm preparing for a one-to-one reading with people, I am probably spending maybe 20 minutes, half an hour before they come, just adjusting my own awareness, getting myself into an alternative state of mind so that I can work to my highest and best for them.
I suppose I can understand how a lot of it can be open to interpretation and quite subjective. I did a thing called NLP. That's kind of about like reading like your body and reading your face and things like that. And I can be quite sceptical about it. And I have been to quite a few things over the time. But I think since losing my mum, that kind of changed. For me, I didn't really do anything. I went to one reading, and it wasn't really my mum. Like it wasn't like a psychic or a medium. It was more just kind of cards and things like that. And I think recently, you had just before you contacted me, actually, I had went to a reading, and she was just she knew things that nobody could have known. Words used again, language used, specific events that nobody knows that I don't talk about. She could tell me in detail and describe it, and names and dates and places and things and smells, and it was just, for me, it was too true, too real not to be true.
I've had quite a few readings by a few different mediums who will do tarot cards, and they can do like predictions for the next year kind of thing. My experience for that is that they're quite accurate.
They generally don't tell you kind of like death or bad news. They kind of say that to you at the start, although I've had it like kind of hinted at. So I had went for like just a card reading, and they were talking about like my job. And at that time I wasn't working, but I was volunteering, and they said things are going to change overnight for you, and it's a big jump, it's going to be a big gamble, it's really going to kind of turn your world upside down, and you're not going to want to do it, but you're going to be forced into it, and it's a good thing. And I was like, away, and I kind of wrote it all down, and about kind of 6 months later that all happened.
I would say that women tend to come very much, a primary area for them will be about relationships. So they might be coming because they want to get some insight or greater understanding into their relationship situation around them.
When I get a spiritualist reading, they make it quite clear that they don't like my boyfriend. That's it, and I know why. And as I say, it's confirmation more than prediction. I think that to me is more what kind of spiritualism and getting messages and things like that is about.
I feel that when I'm working with people, I'm helping them potentially in a number of ways. One is that just by hearing the understanding that is given by spirit, it's like they experience a deep empathy, in a sense, for themselves and what is going on for them, because spirit will know things that they may not have told anyone else at all, that they may not have even fully admitted to themselves, but yet when they hear the words, they immediately understand it and connect with it in a deep way. I'm not going to be shy about saying what I'm seeing in front of me. If I'm seeing a difficult situation, I'm not going to dress that up and try and make it sound like it's a wonderful situation when it clearly isn't.
I didn't know it at the time, but when it kind of started for me was exactly nearly a year before my mum died, and I believe that I was told my mum was going to die. 6th October 2013, aye, my uncle's funeral, and there was something, as I say, it wasn't like a voice or anything, nobody came and said to me, oh, your mum's going to die kind of thing. I had this feeling. I shook it off and I didn't think about it. After that, then my mum took ill, and it was the 29th of June last year, went up to visit my mum in hospital, and she said to me, quite straight face, she said, your granda was here last night with your Uncle Charlie. And I just kind of said to her, all right, were they? What were they saying? She said, they told me to go with them. And I said, well, if you need to go, then you need to go. She says, no, I told them I'm not ready yet. To me, as I say, if anybody was going to try and get my attention to say, look, this is what's happening here, they would have used his name. And then that's when I realised that the previous year, when I was sitting there at my uncle's funeral, and I went, I had, as I say, completely put that out of my mind, and I went, that's what they were meaning. That was probably, that was them telling me. For some reason, I could be totally making it all up. It's something in my mind, but it was funny how I remembered that the following year when she said that, and I went, this isn't going to end well. As I say, in that part of that year is like, I can relive that. Do you know, I can tell you dates.
Are you hoping to sort of get contact?
Aye. I'm trying to think. It was just like, there was nothing to lose, if you know what I mean.
And I think that there's people out there that are desperate. I know people personally that have lost somebody and are so desperate to try and connect with that person. They would do anything, you know, they would sell their soul, they'd sell a vein, they'd sell a kidney, just if they meant that they could have some kind of message from that person.
Any time I've not been disappointed, if you know what I mean. I have had some that are better than others, and I've went to churches and nobody's even spoke to me. So it varies. It does vary.
Now, you have to be very careful here, because everybody that pretends to be a medium is not necessarily a medium. You will hear the super skeptics saying quite correctly, oh well, if I see you, I know you're a young girl, I can make assumptions about you, and you can give out generalities, which nearly everybody could take.
I have had one or two people that have at times said, oh, this is you're a fake, or this isn't real, or you know, this is about the money. I could count on one hand the times when that has happened. I suppose it leaves me feeling saddened. Partly saddened because I feel misunderstood, if that is something that someone thinks or says about me. But also saddened if I haven't met their expectations. You know, if they've wanted something more from me that I wasn't able to deliver for them on that day, then I feel saddened that I wasn't able to do a better reading for them or give them what they were looking for. But I think that's the reality of my work. It's a subtle energy. Some days I may be in a great flow and the information comes so easily and it's so meaningful to the client in front of me. But other days my energy might not be so good. I might not be able to get my connection with spirit so well, and so I might find that more sticky or struggle more on that day or in that reading.
People go to chapel every week and they have evidence that there's God. So, as I say, they've got a belief in something that they can't see. It's exactly the same thing then to me.